Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 23rd May 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, please note we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. So at our NeoStock channel, click on the tab posts, you get access to this post. And this post is having a YouTube playlist link that is having all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now you get all the training lessons. You just go to the bottom of the page. Here starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through one by one. But follow my training instructions I provided at our Telegram channel. You can find the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. So learn this course according to my training instructions, then it will be useful to you and you will become a very good independent trader in the coming days time period. Okay, now let's get into report generation. First I am going to generate finding daily and 75 minutes high liquidity zones. So at daily time frame, let us find the stocks near to the daily demand zone. We got 14 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. Balakrishna Industries is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. Dalmia Bharat is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. TVS Motor is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. So we identified 3 high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. Okay, next, stocks near to the daily supply zone. We got 11 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily supply zones from this list. Nifty Auto is not listed in F&O, also it is a pierced, not valid. Tata Steel is also pierced zone, not valid. So we don't have any valid daily high liquidity supply zones from this list. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone. Scrolling the list, total 17 stocks are filtered. Let us identify daily high liquidity supply zones from this list. Sorry, this is daily high liquidity demand zones, not supply zones. First one, Nifty IT, not listed in F&O, so it's not valid. This is 75 minutes. Dr. Reddy is not valid because it is a pierced zone. Those who wants to use pierced zone strategies, you can apply, but not HLQ zone strategy. KPI Technologies is having a 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. L&T is also pierced zone. You can't use it for HLQ zone strategy. That's it. We got only one 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone from this list. Okay, next, for 75 minutes time frame, stocks near to the 75 minute supply zone, we got 5 stocks. Let us find any high liquidity 75 minute supply zones. ONGC is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. That's it. Only one stock we identified from this list. So this is about finding a daily or 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones. Next, I will generate Nifty and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. starting with Nifty, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. So this is Nifty monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Any supply demand zone chain reports, follow these steps. And look into the pierced zone to find the pierced zones. And look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. And also don't forget to pause the video when you are moving from one report to another report, because I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the report. Once you study, you can proceed further. Okay, next. Weekly supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next. Daily supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Nifty. Nearest demand zone to the current closing price is at serial number 21, pierced zone. So let me put it in the middle of the page. Okay. So this is about Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next I will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain report. That is nothing but Nifty Bank. So generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. So this is a Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. With this we have completed generation of Nifty Bank Nifty reports. Next we will generate sideways bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trades. Starting with monthly income trade, entry time frame daily, entry zone, demand zone, bullish, bearish or sideways trade setup at entry time frame daily. I am selecting sideways long trade setup, zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score for sideways 11, and both these filters are applied to daily demand zone. Let's filter. We got 4 stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. And ignore pierced zones. You have to apply only pierced zone strategies to plan the trades. Next, the sideways short trade setup for monthly income trade. The changes are entry zone, supply zone. Here in daily I am selecting sideways short, and both these filters are applied to daily supply zone. Let's filter. We got 1 stock. Next, bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. The changes are entry time frame, demand zone. Here at daily I am selecting bullish, and in the minimum odd enhancer score should be 12 for bullish or bearish. Now both these filters are applied to daily demand zone. We got 14 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade, and all the entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. Out of these 14 daily demand zones, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the zone confluence. Let us use 2 different filters and 2 different EMA confluence. Okay, first filter is LTF, ITF demand zone confluence. Let's filter. LTF is daily and ITF is weekly. So daily demand zone and weekly demand zone confluence. I selected the filter, applying the filter on the 14 stocks. So from 14 we got 9 stocks. In these 9 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zones. And weekly trend is uptrend in all the stocks. If any weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, inside weekly the overlapped daily demand zone might be having more high probability to get success. So let's verify EMA confluence. Weekly demand zone with weekly EMA. Anyway, trend is weekly trend is uptrend. So we got 6 stocks. So that way these 6 daily demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 concepts are satisfied. Lesson 20 checklist. You can't take trades, any trade directly. Checklist we have to apply in any stock, in any trade. Especially sideways bullish and bearish trade setups. Okay, next we will look into bearish, not bearish, one more filter, LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. Daily, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence supported stocks. So I am going back, removing EMA filter because it is ITF specific. Now we are focusing on HTF. So in the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Next, daily and monthly, weekly and monthly demand zone confluence with all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF, demand zone confluence. We got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these daily demand zones overlapped with weekly demand zone, both together overlapped with monthly demand zone. But monthly trend is up in first 3 stocks. Let's verify first 3 stocks. Any monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence, the overlapped daily demand zone might be having more high probability to get success. Let's verify. So in the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, I am checking monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So we got all the three stocks. So that way these three daily demand zones are having more high probability to get success because they are overlapped with weekly and monthly, and that monthly is having monthly EMA confluence. Okay. So this is bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily. Entry zone, supply zone. Bullish, bearish or sideways at a daily time frame. I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum order enhances score 12. And both these filters are applied to daily supply zone. Let's filter. We got 5 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame zones are these are daily supply zones. Ignore the pierced zones. You have to use them only for pierced zone strategies only. Okay, now let's verify how many are having ITF supply zone confluence. That is a daily and weekly supply zone confluence. So in the supply zone confluence, I am selecting the filter daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. So we got all the 5 stocks. That means in all the 5 stocks, daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in all the stocks. Let's verify how many weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA confluence. In that case, the overlapped daily supply zones might be having more high probability to get success. So I'm going back. EMA confluence at a weekly time frame. I'm checking weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. 3 stocks are filtered. So these 3 weekly supply zones are having more high probability, but this is a pierced zone. Ignore. You can apply only pierced zone strategies on the first stock. Okay, this is bearish trade setup based on LTF, ITF supply zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next we will look into LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence. That is a daily, weekly and monthly supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. Supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, that is daily and weekly supply zone confluence. Next, daily and monthly supply zone confluence, weekly and monthly supply zone confluence. Enabled all the 3 filters. Now we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these daily supply zones overlapped with weekly supply zone, both together overlapped with monthly supply zone. But monthly trend is sideways. So EMA confluence on monthly does not give any advantage. So this is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next we will generate weekly income trade reports. Weekly income trade entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone demand zone for sideways long. Bullish, bearish or sideways. Trade setup at 75 minutes entry time frame. I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum order enhanced score 11 for sideways. And third filter we are adding now, that is 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count should be 0. Pierced count 0 means zone is not pierced. Which zone? Whichever the zone you select here. So that's why all the 3 filters, pierced count, minimum order enhancer score, zone achievement, all the 3 filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. Let's filter. We got 2 stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. Okay, sideways short trade setup, entry zone, supply zone, and I'm selecting sideways short, and all the three filters this time, the zone achievement, minimum odd enhancer score, and Pierce count, all the three filters are applied to 75 minutes supply zone. So we got three stocks. Entry time frame zones are 75 minutes supply zones. Sideways short trade setup for weekly income trade. Okay. Next, bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. The changes are entry time zone, demand zone. At 75 minutes, I'm selecting bullish. And in the filters, minimum odd enhancer score should be 12 for bullish or bearish. This time, all the three filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. We got 12 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones in all the stocks. Out of these 12, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on the zone confluence. First filter LTF, ITF, demand zone confluence. That is 75 and daily demand zone confluence. By enabling the filter, now the list is come down to 9 stocks. In these 9 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is uptrend in all the stocks. We can further filter based on daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. EMA at daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA we are checking. We got all 7 stocks. So that way all these 75 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. Next we will look into LTF, ITF and even HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. That is 75 minutes daily and weekly demand zone confluence. Remove EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters I am adding. First filter is already enabled, daily 75 and daily. Next 75 and weekly demand zone confluence, daily and weekly demand zone confluence. By setting all the 3 filters, we got only 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones overlapped with daily, both together overlapped with weekly demand zone. But weekly trend is sideways, so EMA confluence on weekly does not give any advantage. So this is bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, supply zone, bullish, bearish, sideways at 75 minutes I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. And also 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters we got 6 stocks. These 6 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 75 minutes supply zones. Out of these 6 75 minute supply zones, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on different zone confluence filters. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. By enabling the filter, we got all the 6 stocks. In these 6 stocks, the 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend is down in all the stocks, so we can further filter this list based on daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. Anyway, daily trend is down in all the stocks. We got 2 stocks. So these 2 daily supply zones might be having better high probability to get success. Next we will look into LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters I have to set. First filter is enabled. Next 75 and weekly supply zone confluence, daily and weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 4 stocks. In these 4 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone, both together overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is down in only 2 stocks. Let's verify in these 2 stocks, if any weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence, then the overlapped 75-minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success. So in the EMA confluence at a weekly time frame, I'm checking weekly supply zone having weekly EMA. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So we got 1 stock. So this 75-minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success. But you should follow lesson 20 checklist. If they don't satisfy, this zone will be violated easily. Okay, this is about a bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. So we have completed weekly income trade reports. Next income trade is a daily income trade. For daily income trade, entry time frame 15 minutes. For sideways long trade setup, entry zone, demand zone. Here bullish, bearish or sideways trade setup at 15 minutes time frame. I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement VOZ, violated opposing zone. Minimum odd and enhanced score 11 for sideways trade setup, and also 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, 15 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. So we got 7 stocks. This is sideways long trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. Next, sideways short trade setup. The changes are entry zone, supply zone. Here at 15 minutes, sideways short trade setup. All 3 filters are applied to 15 minute supply zone. We got only 1 stock, sideways short trade setup. That's why it is already tested twice. Okay. Next, bullish trade setup for daily income trade. The changes are entry time frame, entry zone, demand zone. Entry time frame 15 minutes only. Entry zone, demand zone, and one more change at 15 minutes. 15 minutes bullish. And in the filters, one change, minimum odd and enhanced score 12 for bullish or bearish. Now this time all the 3 filters are applied to 15 minutes demand zone. We got 11 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. Out of these 15, how many are having more high probability to get success? I mean, out of these 11, how many are having more high probability to get success? These are the 15 minutes demand zones that we will filter based on zone confluence. First filter is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. That is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. Out of 11, 9 are filtered. That means in these 9 stocks, 15 minutes demand zones overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend is up in all the stocks. Let us further check if 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. So we got 3 stocks. Probably these 3 15 minutes demand zone might be having more high probability to get success. Next we will look into LTF, ITF and even HTF demand zone confluence supported stocks. 15 minutes, 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. Demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Next 15 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence with all the 3 filters. We got only one stock. In this stock 15 minutes demand zone overlapped with 75, both together overlapped with daily demand zone. But daily trend is sideways. Sideways trend EMA confluence does not give any advantage. So this is bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. Bullish, bearish or sideways trade setup. At 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement VOZ, violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhanced score 12, and also 15 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Now all the 3 filters are applied to 15 minutes supply zone. Let's filter. We got 7 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are these 15 minutes supply zones. So we got 7 15 minute supply zones. Out of these 7, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on this zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. Let's filter. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. We got 6 stocks. In all the 6 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. Okay. But 75 minutes trend is down in all the stocks. Let's further filter based on 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. So one stock is filtered. So that way this 15 minute supply zone might be having more high probability to get success. That is the reason why it is already tested and prices are moving towards demand zone. Okay, this is about bearish trade set. This is a bearish trade setup, daily income trade based on LTF, ITF supply zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence. Next we will look into LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. Supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled, that is 15 minutes and 75 minutes. Next 15 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these three stocks, these 15-minute supply zones overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with the daily supply zone. But daily trend is down in only one stock. Let's verify this daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. If it is filtered, then the 15-minute supply zone might be having more high probability. The EMA confluence at a daily time frame, checking daily supply zone having daily EMA. At the same time, trend on the daily should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So none of the stocks are filtered. So this is bearish trade setup for daily income trade. So we have completed daily income trade reports. Next we will look into hourly income trade reports. For hourly income trade, entry time frame 5 minutes. Hourly income trade sideways long trade setup, entry zone, demand zone. In bullish, bearish or sideways trade setup at 5 minutes time frame, I am checking sideways long trade setup. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 11 for sideways. And also 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. Now all the three filters, pierced count, minimum odd enhancer, zone achievement, all three filters are applied to 5 minutes demand zone. We got two stocks. Sideways long trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. Okay, now sideways short trade setup for hourly income trade. The changes are here supply zone and one more change here, sideways short trade setup. We got 4 stocks. Okay, next bullish trade setup. Entry zone, demand zone, and one more change here, bullish, and one more change, minimum odd enhancer score 12. We got 9 stocks. Let us further filter based on zone confluence and after that EMA confluence. First 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone confluence. We got 8 stocks. These 5 minutes demand zones overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone and 15 minutes trend uptrend. So further filter based on EMA confluence. 15 minutes demand zone with daily EMA confluence. None of the stocks are filtered. Okay, next we will look into 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence supported stocks. So 3 filters we have to set in the demand zone confluence. First filter is enabled. Next 5 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 5 stocks. In these 5 stocks, 5 minutes demand zone overlapped with 15, 15 minutes demand zone overlapped with 75 minutes. But 75 minutes trend is up in only one stock. Let's check if this stock is having any daily EMA confluence. That is 75 minutes demand zone with daily EMA, and also trend on this 75 minutes should not be sideways, it should be uptrend because it is bullish. So this is filtered, but it is NIFTY IT indices. Okay, next we will look into bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, supply zone, bullish, bearish or sideways trade setup at 5 minutes, bearish, zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12, and also 5 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 5 minutes, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters we got 7 stocks. Bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame zones are 5 minute supply zones. Out of these 7, let's further filter based on zone confluence. First filter 5 minutes and 15 minutes supply zone confluence. So by enabling the filter, we got 5 stocks. 5 minutes supply zones overlapped with 15 minutes supply zone. But 15 minutes trend is down in all the stocks. Let's further filter based on EMA confluence. That is 15 minutes supply zone with the daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we don't have any stocks. Next, we will further filter based on LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. That is 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. Remove EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Next 5 minutes, 75 minutes supply zone confluence. 15 minutes, 75 minutes supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, 5 minute supply zones overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. Both together overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. 75 minutes trend is down in only one stock. Let's verify if this 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. And also trend on the 75 minutes should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So this stock is filtered. That means this 5 minute supply zone might be having more high probability. Maybe that is the reason why it is already tested once. Okay, this is a bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. So with this we have completed report generation for all the income trades. Next we will generate finding stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames except daily and 75 minutes. Because daily 75 minutes reports are in the beginning already generated. Okay, starting with yearly. Price closed inside the yearly demand zone. 3 stocks are filtered. Remember, I am giving you few seconds time. You have to pause the video. After that, you have to proceed after your study. Next, price closed inside yearly supply zone. No stocks. Next time frame half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. No stocks. Near half yearly supply zone. Also no stocks. Price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. We got 3 stocks. Next, price closed inside half yearly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. 1 stock is filtered. Next, stocks near quarterly supply zone. 5 stocks are filtered. Next, price closed inside the half-yearly demand zone. Quarterly demand zone. We got 14 stocks. We can further filter based on quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways, it should be up or down. Now we got 6 stocks. All these quarterly demand zones are having quarterly EMA confluence and current price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. Any pierced zones, you have to use pierced zone strategies. Okay, next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 17 stocks are filtered. Out of these 17, how many quarterly supply zones are having quarterly EMA confluence? And trend on the quarterly should not be sideways, should be up or down. We got two stocks. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. We got 5 stocks. Next, stocks near monthly supply zone. We got 10 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly demand zone. We got 15 stocks. But we can further filter based on monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence, and trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. We got 5 stocks. It seems except this one, remaining all are pierced zones. Okay, next, monthly time frame. Price closed inside the monthly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 39 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. And also trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. So we got 16 stocks. So this is about monthly. Next time frame is weekly, and also it is end of the week. Because it is end of the week, I will be generating few additional reports on weekly. Okay, first stocks near weekly demand zone. We got 10 stocks. Next, stocks near weekly supply zone. We got 14 stocks. Next, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. We got 15 stocks. We can further filter this list based on weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. And also trend on the weekly up or down. We got 9 stocks. Price closed inside the weekly demand zone, and those weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA confluence. I think couple of stocks are pierced zones. You can apply pierced zone strategies. Okay, next, weekly time frame. Price closed inside the weekly supply zone. We got several stocks. First 15 in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 74 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. And also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Now the list is reduced. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 30 stocks are filtered. Okay. Next, for weekly time frame, let us check the demand zones tested, weekly demand zone tested during this week. Stocks having tested weekly demand zones. These 9 weekly demand stocks having demand zones are tested during this week. Okay, next we will look into tested weekly supply zones. So good number of weekly supply zones tested. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So these 27 stocks having weekly supply zones are tested during this week. Okay. Next, newly created zones let us identify. For weekly time frame, let us find the stocks having newly created weekly demand zones. So these 4 stocks are having newly created weekly demand zones. Next, let us find the stocks having newly created weekly supply zones. So non-weekly supply zones are created during this week. We will also generate 2 more additional reports: weekly, monthly and quarterly demand zone confluence, and then EMA. Similarly, supply zone confluence and supply zone EMA confluence. So entry time frame should be weekly. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters I am setting. First, weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence, weekly demand zone with quarterly demand zone confluence, and also monthly demand zone with quarterly demand zone confluence. By enabling the 3 filters, we got a big list. Scrolling the list down. So 35 stocks are filtered. Because weekly and monthly together overlapped with quarterly, we can further filter based on quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. So up or down. Now list is reduced. First 16 stocks in the list. Nifty Bank is also listed. Scrolling the list down. So total 21 stocks are filtered. Similarly, let us look into supply zones. Entry time frame weekly. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter, weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence, weekly and quarterly supply zone confluence, and monthly and quarterly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 10 stocks. Weekly overlapped with monthly, both together overlapped with quarterly. We can further filter based on quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And also trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. We got 2 stocks. Out of these 2, the second weekly supply zone is a pierced supply zone. So this is about weekly time frame. Next, daily we already generated in the beginning of the report. So next time frame 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 17 stocks are filtered. Next, stocks near 125 minute supply zone, we got 9 stocks. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Also generated the reports in the beginning of the report. So The next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 12 stocks. Next, stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Next, stocks near 15 minutes supply zone. We got 2 stocks. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 3 stocks. Next, stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 5 stocks. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones. And in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. I'm scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there pause the video. After that you can proceed further. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.